Half the fun of a new Assassin's Creed game is finding out where and when the series will take players next, and as some of us suspected, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will focus on Norse Viking warriors. The time and place? 9th century England, a place where Vikings were definitely not welcome. The latest trailer has given us a basic idea of what's in store, but there are some little details you might have missed. Here's everything we spotted. There's no shortage of horns or antlers in this scene, on animal skulls in this lady's hat, but don't expect to see them on Viking helmets in Assassin's Creed Valhalla. There's zero historical evidence that real Vikings actually wore horned helmets. That popular but inaccurate stereotype was likely introduced by the silly costumes from 19th century Wagnerian operas that were based on Norse myths. Speaking of mythology, this is a statue of Norse god Odin, father of Thor and all-father to, well, everyone else, and a very big deal to the Vikings.
Odin is with us!
Longships. These will likely play a big part in Assassin's Creed Valhalla, since the Vikings wouldn't have gotten far without them, and they allowed them to wage war, colonize, and trade. Though considering the geography of England, nautical transportation might not be quite as prevalent as in, say, the Greek islands or the Nile River Delta. The lush, verdant English countryside looks a lot more forgiving than the colder climates the Norsemen came from, so it's not hard to see why they'd want to relocate. After all, warmer weather makes for easier farming and hunting, and though Vikings are infamous for looting and plundering, a lot of them were just in search of some literal greener pastures.
They murder and kill blindly.
While the narrator, who we'll get to in a second, isn't a fan of Vikings, you'll notice that our heroes aren't exactly murdering and killing blindly, instead sparing this woman and her children in the midst of battle. And it seems like when we're not waging war, we'll be seeing the softer side of Vikings, who were just as much about raising families and having nice communities as they were about pillaging. The structures being erected in the background could suggest that we'll see some base building features, though given the sheer number of them, it looks like we might even be building an entire village. And here is our ill-tempered narrator, King Alfred of Wessex, famous for fighting off Viking invasions, later given the title Alfred the Great. Historically, he's not portrayed quite so vengefully or tyrannically as he's acting here, but history is written by the victors. So it seems like Assassin's Creed Valhalla might be showing Alfred's not-so-great side from the Viking perspective. And while the crosses Alfred's wearing look a bit like the Templar emblem, that's actually the sigil of the House of Wessex.
Shield!
Yes, that's right, shields indeed, and axes, hammers, and flails, and so on. We've seen the Assassin's Creed series amass quite an arsenal of different weapons over the years, and there's no reason that'll stop now. And it looks like it'll be possible to dual-wield them in various configurations too. Well, so much for the softer side of Vikings. That's some decapitation for you, something that's new to the series, in regular combat at least. While previous Assassin's Creed protagonists certainly haven't been slouches on the battlefield, the combat here looks grislier and more brutal than ever. And with good reason. The term going berserk is actually derived from the Old Norse term berserker, or bear shirt, referring to Viking warriors who donned animal skins and went into battle in a trance-like state, which is definitely a concept that translates to video games. At the very least, it is safe to say you will be clobbering your foes with a battle axe. The idea of hundreds of Viking warriors raiding a specific location is not only spot on for a mission type in an Assassin's Creed game, it also seems like a great way to show off what's technically possible on a next-gen video game console. You know, like the ones that are supposed to come out this fall. Spotting Odin, the Norse god of war, victory, wisdom, and about 15 other things is a good omen on the battlefield, probably, though he's also associated with death and the gallows, so who knows? As for Odin's role itself, it's unclear how far into the supernatural Assassin's Creed Valhalla will veer. The series is historically more about actual history than fantasy, though Assassin's Creed Odyssey wasn't afraid to dip into Greek mythology a bit. There's certainly no shortage of Norse lore to pull from, but for now, Assassin's Creed Valhalla seems mostly focused on actual Viking history. You know, aside from Odin seemingly turning into a raven. Speaking of which, assassins are known for their feathered friends, and Odin is often associated with ravens, so it seems very likely Assassin's Creed Valhalla's hero will have a raven accomplice. And it looks like there will be female Viking warriors in the ranks among their burly bearded brethren. Assassin's Creed Odyssey let players experience the entire game as either a male or female protagonist. Perhaps Assassin's Creed Valhalla's campaign will offer that level of freedom again? This heavy-duty English soldier suggests we'll be seeing a variety of enemy types, some much tougher than others, and something tells us this guy's head can't be lopped off in one fell swoop. And while there are lots of historically accurate axes and swords and hammers and spears and glaives, etc., this is still an Assassin's Creed game, and there is that trademark hidden blade. Stabby stabby. And so there you have it. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is turning bloodthirsty Viking hordes loose in open-world Dark Ages England. It's bound to have plenty of what we know and love and have come to expect from the Assassin's Creed series, but there are sure to be plenty of surprises as well. And based on the release dates of literally every other mainline Assassin's Creed game, it's pretty safe to assume it's coming out this holiday season. What did you spot in this trailer, and what do you hope to see in this new game? Let us know in the comments, and for all the latest on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, keep it right here on IGN.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla, available holiday 2020.